Here we go. What's up, Raph? How are you? What's up, Pat? How are you, Lisa? And let's see if this works. I am. I feel like the beard is what gives you actual strength. So I'm actually going to mimic your beard as best as possible. Let's see how long I can last. I want to let me accept. There we go. I forget who that guy was that had all the strength in his hair. So I'm like, I forget. Try that again. See if we get Amanda in. Yes, beard equals steroids. 110%. That's what it is.
I might have to grab a puppy and hold them because
That's okay.
I don't know if they're gonna stay.
Samson, that's right. We're talking about beards and how beards equal strength. And yes, you can't have a beard without deadlifting 375. So we'll see this weekend. I'm going to test my 1 rep max this weekend and see if I can hit 375. Oh, hello. Puppies are always nice and welcomed in all things.
I'm gonna cry.
Now you need to hold both of them.
Oh, God. It's been a lot.
How many puppies do you have at the house now?
We have 2 right now. I'm just gonna take them both out of their little diary.
That's fair.
Let them roam and hope for the best because then they'll be quiet.
So yeah, today we're going to talk about building the confidence in the gym and really how is it I won't hurt myself. Thank you though. He was talking about, saying how I was going to test my 1 rep maxes. I will listen to my body as best as possible. But yeah, so how to build your confidence in the gym, especially if you're either new or delving into something new, as in like you're going to compete in a powerlifting meet for the first time, a bodybuilding thing for the first time, whatever it may be, for the first time. So how do you build your confidence, or even just stepping in the gym for the very first time, because it's a scary thought sometimes.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that really a lot of people in the gym are just like you. Some are newer, some are older, but most people are always trying new things. So it's not that weird to feel uncomfortable in the gym. It's actually very normal, and not a lot of people.
Uncomfortable sometimes.
I know, same. Whenever I go to a new gym, I feel like such a weirdo when I can't find the machine I'm looking for, and then you walking around aimlessly, you're like, wait, or whatever it is, like, wait, where is that thing?
Or like something's just not going as planned, and yeah, there's always going to be like, I don't know. You're always going to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Of course. And that's why I think like we have to understand that it's normal to be uncomfortable. It's okay. And I think a lot of our judgments or what we think people are thinking about us are actually inside our own head, as opposed to, are they truly like, are people actually looking at you and like, man, you know, that girl doesn't know what she's doing here. Get her out of here type thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that ever happens.
Yeah, no. I think a lot, like everyone is usually just wrapped up in themselves. And if they are watching you, you're probably fine. Because there's also a million different ways to do something, which I think is part of the overwhelm. It's like, well, they're doing that. Should I be doing that? But there is 1,010 different ways to, to do an exercise.
Yes. He's right. You build confidence by doing it every day as hard as you can.
Yeah.
You just keep going. You just keep showing up. And eventually you just get comfortable in the gym, just showing up and being there and understanding this is the way I'm doing things. This is kind of how things go. And it just is what it is. Because there's always that point of things where you're not going to look exactly like the person squatting next to you, deadlifting next to you, doing a Turkish get-up or whatever it may be. You may not look exactly the same because your bodies aren't the same.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and anything that's new is always going to be uncomfortable. So like you said, go. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It's going to get more comfortable. Confidence comes from
Yes.
or from
You got to put in the hard work too, because it is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gotta work hard in the gym, and it's okay because it builds your confidence. Because nothing's better than getting a good workout in or feeling strong. We talked about this before. Nothing feels as good as strong feels.
Yeah.
Like being strong, being able to hit lifts, being able to work out the way you want to.
And what he just said too, like action is self-belief. So in order to build our self-belief, in order to build self-efficacy, we need to take action first.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with motivation. We're not just going to be motivated off the bat, and maybe we are, but that's only going to be a small fraction of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you keep that going is actually by putting in the consistency.
Yeah.
And it's not always comfortable, and you also, are going to learn new things.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's true.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it too, I remember, because I started training, like personal training people at a Gold's Gym. And like Gold's Gyms have that, like, 'cause you think Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, you think of Gold's Gyms as like bodybuilders. You know what I mean? Like big, buff dudes, whatever it was. And a lot of my clientele at that time were females. And they were like, I feel uncomfortable going by the dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the big guys are there. I don't want them, like, I think they're judging me. I was like, trust me 100%. Being a bodybuilder, like the thing you sent me, how to trigger a bodybuilder in 10 seconds. Being a bodybuilder, we're more into how our arms look sometimes or how our chest looks or whatever it is when we're at the gym and making sure we're doing the best we can for ourselves,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to sitting there watching another person be like,
yeah.
That
and
person.
Also, yeah, exactly. Everyone's just, especially bodybuilders, might potentially be more wrapped up in
mm-hmm.
like what's going on with them than anyone else. Also, because they're focused on a goal. Like when you're focused on a goal, you don't care about what anyone else is doing. And that was gonna be the other thing, because you can't escape all judgment. People are gonna judge you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's anywhere you go, the gym, life. But you have to have like your goal. And when you're focused on that, it becomes less relevant what other people are thinking. Because when you are confident in that goal and you're confident in how you're executing it, maybe you're not confident in how you're executing it. And maybe that's where the lack of self-confidence is coming from. That's
mm-hmm.
where it's like kind of do your due diligence and research. If you're not working with someone, put together a plan. Like make
mm-hmm.
sure you are doing the best things for your body. And it's going to benefit you both ways.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Like, do yourself the favor of not just going in aimlessly. Do a little research. Like, okay, try to make a split a little bit so you're not walking around aimlessly. Hire somebody that can help you, because that'll help build your confidence. If execution is the reason why you're feeling not confident. If you're feeling not confident because of like body image, we'll say, that's justifiable. But at the same time, to get the body image and to build your confidence and body recomp and stuff like that, you kind of just have to break through that barrier and just go, because most people are rooting for you. Let's be honest. And like you said, judgment is everywhere, but like 9 out of 10 times, the 10th person may judge you. The 9 other people are probably like, good on you, because I'm in the same boat. I was there.
Yeah.
Everyone
was there at some point. No one was born with.
No.
Anyone that's an expert at it was once a novice.
Yeah. Like we fortunately started at a young age, so it's different for us in that aspect where we're kind of just used to it. Like going to a gym, we kind of don't have that like, ooh, new gym feeling of not confidence, whatever it may be. But even like you said, you still get a little nervous sometimes or unconfident. You feel uncomfortable. And it's the same with me too. Like if I'm squatting, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want people watching me, especially because, you know what I mean? Because it's like, wait, there's Nick, he's squatting. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm making up these scenarios. Like maybe they're like, oh, well, his squat form didn't look so pretty. Yeah. He's a PT. Like, ew. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
like she's a trainer and she's doing that. What's going, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, it's all, but that's all made up in my head. Never once has somebody been like, hey, your form is terrible. What the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
But you know what I mean?
We also don't walk in there with no plan. It's not like we're just doing things to do things.
Yeah.
It's just our own, like, I don't know.
We're used to it.
Yeah.
But it's how do you get used to it? And like, let's see how pretty you look on Saturday. We'll see. The form breakdown will definitely happen.
What's
but
Saturday?
That's okay. I'm testing my 1 rep max for squat, bench, and deadlift on Saturday.
Ah.
So yeah, so form breakdown is going to happen, and that's okay. But it won't. It definitely won't look pretty as I like it to look.
Yeah.
And I have to get over the fact that people may judge me and be like, oh, but they won't judge me, because that's one of those things we have to realize is people don't really.
It's funny you say that too, because like, you know, you see, remember when that power lifter video went viral where people were like, why is he arching his back on the bench press?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, oh my God, that's terrible. But then it's something that power lifters use to decrease the space between them and the bar. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother ball game.
Exactly.
But yes, So
like people had so much to say about that, but that's what I was trying to get at before. There's so many different ways to do things, and they're done differently for different reasons. So you really, like, unless you're an expert in every single type of lifting or athletic, you know, training, whatever it might be, then it's really hard to judge, because I see things sometimes and I'm like, oh, I wonder why. Like, I might not fully understand it, but if the person, like, you know, I am curious about it rather than judging it. I want to know why.
Yeah. Well, that's partly like us and our intuitive brain, in a sense, because of what we do. Because it happens all the time. I make awkward eye contact in the gym, especially when I was in commercial gyms, just hanging out on the bench and just watching somebody doing something from far away.
Yeah.
Not purposely, like inspecting the form. I'm just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then like they'll finish their set. I'll still be looking at them. They'll make eye contact, and I'm like, oh, and I'll just wave and whatever. And like, but like that's just is what it is.
Yeah.
You just watch and you're like, wait, is that normal?
Say it again.
It's like you just look at it and you're like, wait, why is it that way? And you're not like in a understanding type of way, as opposed to trying to judge and be like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Exactly. I think I've done that too, where I'm watching people and I'm actually learning from them or curious about what they're doing. And that's another thing to keep in mind. You know, I mean, if you're very new, then maybe not so much, but if you're someone that's more experienced, like maybe someone's watching you because they're learning from you.
Yeah.
It's not always necessarily a judgment.
Yeah, maybe you're motivating them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you see someone you aspire to, let's see someone over by you in Denver is like, oh, they see you in the gym and they're like, I want to be like, you know, I see this girl come in all the time and I want to look like her, or I want to be as confident as her when she walks into the gym or whatever it is. That could be why they're looking at you. It's like, oh, hey, like, she gets in here, she gets right to work. I love her work ethic. Like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? So, like, you may be motivating without even realizing. You may just be setting a good example for somebody who maybe is having a hard time understanding why they're lifting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Yeah. I was going to say too, I think because a lot of times people that I work with might not have used a gym before, or they've only gone to group classes. And as soon as I get them on that strength split, I'm like, okay, like, did you go to the gym yet? And they're like, no, not yet. And I'm like, right, what's the mindset barrier? What are you scared of? Where, you know, what are we missing? And usually it's, you know, I've never been in one before. I don't know how to use anything. I'm like, well, that's why I'm here, first of all. But then second, okay, go walk on the treadmill the first day. You don't have to touch anything. Just go walk on the treadmill, look around the gym, get used to the space, get to know the front desk. Maybe do that for a week. Then the second week, maybe you start touching the free weights. Maybe by the third week, you're on the squat rack. Yeah. And you're bound to make mistakes. I have scars on my shins from box jumps. I have done stupid things with I've executed, you know, in the past when I was first learning, I've definitely executed things not wrong, but maybe just not as efficiently. Yeah. And it's all part of the learning process, but that's also like what's nice about having a coach is you could always send me videos too, and I'll look at them for you. But you know, even if you don't have that, like, let me grab this pup.
But yes, you're right. If you don't have the ability to send somebody a video of, hey, am I doing this right, or whatever it is, it's okay. You don't need that thing. Just know. It comes down to, does it feel right? If something doesn't feel right, check your form, and then try and do it differently. Maybe look up a YouTube video on how to squat or how to do a lunge and all that stuff. And you'll find 1,000 different opinions on each one of them. So Now you have both of them. Nice.
Right.
But you'll have 1,000 different opinions on how to squat correctly, how to lunge correctly, how to do anything correctly. So find what fits you if you don't have somebody to specifically send things to. Maybe you have a friend that seems to be a little bit further in to you.
Yeah,
and
ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, what do you do? And it's not so much if they're giving you the right or wrong information. It's just you got to get in there to even know how it feels to be in the gym.
Because you could do all the research all day long, but until you actually go and feel the movement pattern, it's still, you know, I was actually talking to this about with my coach the other day. For some reason, I just don't like dumbbell incline.
Bench?
Pec flies.
Okay.
I just feel like my triceps are too engaged. I'm not feeling it in the places I want to be feeling it. And she's like, well, that's okay. Like sometimes there's certain movements that just don't work well for people. And you're never going to know that until you get in there and try it and really feel it out. And like, that's where like Google can be your best friend, because you could look up an exercise. Hey, where is this supposed to be hitting? Do I feel it there? Do I not feel it there? Like, you know, what's happening? And then how can I, you know, maybe sub it for something else, see if that feels better. Or I can try to create, you know, maybe like a mind-body connection and see if that helps, and see if I can fix my form and video myself, or, you know, there's lots of things you can do. Google is honestly awesome for form and videos. There's so many YouTube videos out there. You probably even have some.
Send me a video of you doing incline fly, by the way, when we're done with this. That's
okay.
I think I know why you feel it more in your triceps than your chest. But anyway, stay on topic. But yes, so yeah, we have to, like, I love that idea though. You're like, even if you don't want to get into weights, dumbbells, all that stuff just yet, get in there and just go on the treadmill for 5 minutes. See how you feel. 5 minutes turns into 10. Just get the lay of the land, because some people want to have a plan. It's always uncomfortable. So if you just you make like this big mountain out of this little thing that's almost nothing, you make this huge issue in your head, like, oh my gosh, like everyone's gonna judge me. It's like once you break the barrier of getting in there, it's like, this wasn't that bad.
Right.
And then once you know where everything is, you can spend all day on the treadmill and just stare and be like, okay, so like when I have back day, whatever it is, I'm going to be over here. Right. So like I'm going to keep to myself and do over here. And the nice thing too about most commercial gyms, or most gyms in general, there's no real only barbells and dumbbells anymore. You know what I mean? So if you're worried about doing something wrong, grab a machine. You really can't use a machine wrong, to be honest. As long as you set the seat height there.
And they have pictures on there.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not so confident with how you move freely, then you can go into a machine and just be like, you know what? Let me do, for the first week, I'm going to do machines only. And then
sometimes they tend to be more secluded too, which is nice.
Yeah. They're usually on the side. They're not always super crowded, because a lot of people do a lot of dumbbell and barbell work. And that's great. But that may help you build your confidence of just being in there and around the environment of working out. And then it's like, okay, I feel confident in this machine. Then let me try it with a dumbbell. Let me try it with a barbell, a similar movement pattern. Then you can start building that mind-muscle connection in a safer way, build your confidence, because it's like, okay, if I'm doing a row machine and I do a dumbbell row, I should know what it feels like. It just should feel similar. Not exactly the same, but it should feel somewhat the same in a certain way. So you're like, oh, okay, I remember this. Yeah. So it's another way to just build your confidence of, like, you can start treadmill, get the lay of the land, like you said, get to know people, maybe just say hi to the front desk people, like, hey, I'm new here. Maybe I don't know if many gyms offer this as much anymore. I know the gyms I'm part of, they do, but they give a tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give a tour of the gym. Like, take a tour of the gym. Ask, like, hey, can someone just show me around where everything is? And there's nothing wrong with that, because I would do that if I go to, like, what is that new gym in Texas that just opened up, like Alpha Land or something like that? I forget the actual name of it. That's, like, huge. I wouldn't know where anything is. I would get overwhelmed and be like,
That's
done.
what I'm saying.
I can't.
Like, sometimes I still walk into a new gym and I'm overwhelmed too, because it's a new space. It's like walking into a new grocery store. You don't know where everything is. It's gonna.
I hate switching up that.
I hate switching grocery stores too, but it's like just the same overwhelming feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take me 10 times longer. But it's normal. It's so normal. You kind of have to just push past that. And stick it out, because it gets way easier and it gets way more comfortable. But the thing about the gym is it's a place to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So even once you're in your comfort zone there, you'll find that there's going to be more ways to, continue to push yourself. So honestly, hopefully a majority of people in the gym are out of their comfort zone just a little bit.
Because you should be. Because that's where you're going to get all the growth and all those things that you actually need to have happen, that you want to have happen, and get the results you want and the ultimate goal. And that's kind of where I think when you're building up your confidence, just always coming back to like, I'm doing this for me. I'm not in the gym for Amanda. You know what I mean? Because Amanda told me to do it. You're in the gym because you want to be in the gym because you are trying to be a better version of yourself, as opposed to anything else.
It's always about the personal development. We are usually chasing the physique or the end result, but it's the personal development that really everyone wants. And that's the gym is so great for that. Yeah,
exactly. So if you're in the gym for that reason, then just don't worry what other people think of you, because you have the ultimate goal of, this is what I want to do. And that's really what I think most people should try to understand, is remember, you're there for yourself and nobody else. And if people want to watch you, that's great. That's on them. But that is, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. It's just, that's how we are as people. And like I said, most issues that we come up with, and I heard it once during a meeting, they were talking about, this woman was talking about how a lot of the things that we fear are just our own made up fears.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. The same thing of
what would your life look like if you weren't so scared of messing up?
Yeah. Oh, it would be totally different. Everybody would. You know what I mean? You'd be unstoppable because you wouldn't be so worried about doing the next messing up or doing the next wrong thing, we'll say. And it's okay to do the wrong thing. It's just okay, just have a plan to fix it.
Yeah. And thankfully, I think I don't know, I feel like we live, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I was going to say, thankfully, I think a lot of us have some room to screw up a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's a nice thing too about, especially in the gym, especially in lifting. The nice thing about that whole area is there's no cookie cutter model. So what you consider screwing up, not you personally, but people consider screwing up, may not be actually screwing up. It's just the way your body moves, you know? And that's where you have to take that for a grain of salt. We got a lot of room. Your body is not going to break on you because you hit a incline fly wrong, you know? It's not. It's just not going to happen. So you can be a little bit more confident because you have some play. Oh, that didn't feel right. Okay, let me not do it that way again.
Yeah, and we naturally keep ourselves safe. We're not just going to go in there and throw around a, 100-pound dumbbell
that we've never touched before on the first day. Yeah,
exactly. So, you can trust yourself in that aspect.
Yes. Hey, trust that you're not going to. Yeah.
Do you feel like gyms have shifted? Do you think that they've become more inclusive? Because I feel like maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
15, 20 years ago, it was more so bodybuilding, not really general public as much. And now it seems to be more so everyone's going. Everyone's on the gym wave, and I love it. Even just social media, it seems I mean, everyone always jokes around now, everyone has a fitness page, but I don't really think it's a bad thing.
No, you're right. I think it has shifted from generation, our parents' generation. Going to the gym to them is kind of just a newer thing. They weren't as into it as much. Some were, don't get me wrong, some people were, but now it's almost everyone I talk to almost goes to the gym, whether in all types of forms. I'm not just talking about powerlifters, bodybuilders, all types of forms of everybody goes to the gym, whether they take some group fitness classes, whether they it just seems more and more, because I work with a bunch of different people that have all different activity levels. They're all into some type of activity. And I think that's kind of a good thing, that most people are more willing to exercise, because I think people understand that it's going to help them further along more than ever before.
If someone, I think that there's a lot more information out there now.
What it is. It's so much is coming out based on how good exercise is and heart health, and think of it that way. All right, let's say your parents learned about how to be healthy and whatever it is at 55 and how exercise is so important. Well, guess who's gonna who's passing that down to you at a younger age, and then you're passing that down like, oh, I started when I was 12. Oh, okay, well, my son or daughter will start around that same age as well. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say before, what do you think it like pushes someone to finally get out of their comfort zone? Like, what do you think the last
Straw?
Yeah.
Is it straw? It's straw. I think it's straw. I'm not good with term and not like that whole thing, like phrases.
I think you get what I'm saying. What do you think is like the breaking point for most people? They're just like, you know what? Fine, I don't care what I look like. I'm gonna go in there and do it.
I think it's more of, like you said, the ultimate goal of why you're doing this. And it's just the breaking point usually comes down to like, I'm tired of not feeling, a lot of what I've heard from training is like, I just want to feel confident in my own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a breaking point. It's like, I'm tired of putting on my pants every day and putting on my work clothes and not feeling confident in my own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be, like I said, it can be looks wise, but I think that shifted too. I think it's not so much looks as much as it's, I want to be confident in my own skin, but strong as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I could be biased because of the people I surround myself with, but I'm noticing though, even more so with people that don't just exercise regularly. It's not so much about body. You even see it. It's not so much about body, like being super skinny, like accepting who you are and just being healthy. Yeah. That's what it really is. But I think the breaking point is that aspect of I.
Yeah, just a little bit. It was just a couple words.
But yeah, so I think that's what it is. What do you think?
Yeah, I think people just like finally get fed up with however they're feeling, and they're just like staying the same becomes more uncomfortable than changing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, you know what? Let me just do it. And then once you rip that Band-Aid off, you're like, I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did. But I think too, a lot of it comes to goal setting. You know what I mean? Like if you go with this intangible goal that's of like losing all this weight or doing whatever it is in a short amount of time, then your likelihood to not feel so confident and be overwhelmed is much higher. Aw. Nice. I'm surprised they stay so well together when they're like in your arms. They're not trying to jump off you or anything like that.
You know what? One's at my feet right now.
Okay. We
just made them this little playpen, but of course they were, as soon as we were supposed to hop on here, they wanted out.
Of course. Why wouldn't they? That's how life goes.
Exactly. They were like, oh my God, Nick's hopping on Instagram. We want to say.
Yeah. What's up? But yeah, it's just kind of like set yourself up for success, rip the Band-Aid off and just move on and just go. Just do.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
I know. Like at a certain point, there's only so much reading and research and planning that you can do because you're ultimately going to learn the most from actually doing it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Just get in there, try it out, see what it is. And to be fair, don't be afraid to try different gyms. That's like, we can end on that point of like, you can feel uncomfortable in a gym. Maybe the environment's not for you, but try different ones where you feel comfortable. And it could be like, some people go to gyms for different reasons. Some people go to gyms for community. So like, I remember when I was at Gold's, like I worked there, but like I was there for 3 to 4 hours just to hang out. My friends would come, we'd all work out, we'd hang out for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like some people go to gyms just to also have a community around them and people to support them. And that's where like you'll get your gym buddies like, hey, you coming at 5 again next week? Yeah, definitely. So whatever, like, and then you make sure you're always there. Then next thing you know, you have an accountability partner. So don't be afraid to try different gyms as well to make yourself more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're truly in a place where it's like, I've been here for a little while, nothing seems to be feeling right.
Yeah.
There's a million out there.
Yeah. There's so many. And it can be, you could find a retro, you could find a private little studio that like literally just has one squat rack and that's it, you know, like There's so many options.
It also might be nice to find a friend to start out with.
Yeah.
Kind of similar, on the same page in their journey as you.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a little uncomfortable too, but you guys can go in and figure things out together.
Exactly.
And, it might not last forever, but then at least you got started with someone. And once you started, that's the hardest part.
Yes.
So.
I agree. The hardest part is getting started.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Amanda, for joining me.
Sorry,
on another wonderful live.
Here.
No, it's fine. Everyone loves puppies. So if they make guest appearances, no one's going to complain about having puppies as a guest appearance. But yeah, this was great. It just comes down to realistically just getting into the gym, doing it whatever you see fit. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Just build your confidence, get the lay of the land, and just go after it. No one's judging you. Just remember why you're there. You're there for yourself and only yourself. So do the best for you. Don't worry about other people. Do what's right for you.
That's really where self-confidence comes from.
Yeah.
Is self-care.
Yeah. That's it.
Learning and being there for yourself and loving yourself. When you do that, it just gym life.
Yes.
It'll radiate. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'll see you next week. We'll discuss posture, I think you wanted to do, and how that relates to a lot of things. So we'll go over that as well. And like I said, as always, thank you again. These are always so much fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you later, right?